Hi, this is Ken with Solid Ground Life Insurance, and I wanted to spend some time with you today going over what we've been doing over the last few videos regarding wealth creation in the 21st century, our series on It's Your Money and Your Life. Well, today we're going to talk about Index Universal Life Insurance versus qualified plans and what qualified plans are and what is Index Universal Life. Remember what Warren Buffett said: when money is at stake, there are two rules. Rule number one, never lose money. And rule number two, never forget rule number one. We're going to talk about choices today between qualified plans and Index Universal Life. So here we go. What is Index Universal Life and what is qualified plans? Well, Index Universal Life policies started in the early 90s, although they had been playing around with them since the mid 80s. And finally, in the 90s, the IRS approved the plan of action for Index Universal Life as an insurance product that would allow you to participate in the market using an index to increase your income through a life insurance vehicle. Qualified plans started in 1978 when the United States government got together with Wall Street bankers because they had did some formulations and realized that by the year 2030, the Social Security fund would run out of money. And so they asked Wall Street bankers to come up with some ideas as to what they could do to help out. And what they did is came up with a plan called qualified plans. And those are your 401k plans, your 403bs if you work for the government, 529s, and IRAs. Things of those natures where you're in what's called a tax deferred situation. So, what are the differences between qualified plans and Index Universal Life? Because these are both vehicles in which you can put your money in to grow over time. And so we're just going to talk about some of those differences today. Well, one of the biggest things when they are promoting qualified plans is they always talk about the employee match, which is what we call free money, or at least some people call free money. Well, when you have a qualified plan, your employer can match the contribution that you're making into your qualified plan up to a certain amount. And sometimes that match can go up to 5%, 4%, depending on what company you are involved in. They will tell you what the employee match is. Well, when you have an Index Universal Life policy, there is no employee match because you're using your money, your after tax dollars, to fund the Index Universal Life insurance policy. Let's look at the tax advantages and tax deferred aspect of it. When you put your money into a qualified plan, you have tax deferred dollars going in, which means you're putting in pre-tax money. So on the other end, in the future, you'll be paying tax on the money that you're putting into your qualified plan. Whereas when you're putting your money into your Index Universal Life policy, it is going in with tax dollars. So on the other end, you will not be paying taxes on that. When you have a qualified plan, of course, there is no living benefit. When you have an IUL, Index Universal Life, there are living benefits that go between 70 and 90%. And what do I mean by that? Simply this: if you have a life insurance policy and you get hurt, you can accelerate the death benefit as a part of your living benefits, which means, let's say you had a $500,000 death benefit in your policy and you received a terminal diagnosis of cancer of some sort. You could actually use up to 90% of that death benefit right away to help pay for the cost of your treatment. And you don't have that option when you have a qualified plan. Also, when you have a qualified plan, there is no death benefit attached to your money. But when you have an Index Universal Life policy, you have a tax-free death benefit. For example, if you were to pass away, your family would receive, let's use that number, $500,000 for our previous example. You would receive $500,000, the family, the beneficiaries, and that would be a tax-free lump sum payment, or however you decided that you wanted to disperse those funds over a period of time. When you have a qualified plan, there's no cap and there's no floor, which means you could make a lot of money in the market or you could lose all of it in the market. When you have an index universal life policy, there is a cap and a floor. And that cap the cap is usually about 12 to 15%, which means if the market grows 18% that year, you're only going to receive that 12 to 15%. Whereas if you have a floor, if the market were to crash 50% or 40%, like it did back in 2008, you would lose no money at all, going back to Warren Buffett's rules. So you have a cap and a floor with an IUL, and you have no cap and you have no floor with the qualified plan, which means simply your money is at risk. And then in terms of taxation, there's no taxes on your IUL because you, once again, grown an account with after-tax dollars. Whereas taxation with a qualified plan, it is to be determined. And what I mean by that is simply this. You don't know how much taxes are going to be taken out on your money until you're ready to take that money out when you're at retirement age. Of course, if you took it out early, you would get penalties and fees and things of that nature. But once you're ready to retire, that's when they tell you what the tax calculation is. And right now, the taxes is about, let's say, 30%. I would guess in the future the taxes will probably go up. And so you'll be paying more to the government for them handling your qualified plan. When you have a qualified plan, you are going to have continuous fees. When you have an IUL, your fees go away after year 15 in the program because this is an insurance product. And that is kind of big because one of the things that they have done market research on has said that up to 30% of the wealth that you could have created through a financial instrument would be taken up in fees for the fund managers who handle it. So in other words, if you have a qualified plan, your 30% of your wealth is going to Wall Street bankers in the form of fees. And finally, once again, Warren Buffett's law is in effect. When you have an IUL, you have no risk of losing money. You get to participate in the market, but you don't have the risk associated with it. When you have a qualified plan, if the market turns and makes a large correction or any correction, you'll always hear what they say. Don't worry, you have time to make it up. But remember, you don't get a do-over when it comes down to your money. Very important that you understand there are no do-overs with the market. Participate in the market with an IUL. You get cash value accumulation over time with your IUL. And once again, you have a cap and a floor for your security in terms of your money is not at risk. What does this simply mean? In order to win the money game, you must play in the arena that the wealthy play in. Tax advantage programs such as the IUL are available for all income levels, and you can learn what your options are. Qualified plans are a good way to save money, but you're also paying out large sums of money to Wall Street, and also on the back end, when you're ready to retire, at the time you need your money the most, the government steps in and puts their hand into your pocket. Whereas with an IUL, you don't have any of that. So, what is our trivia question for this video presentation today? What Italian family is responsible for the modern day banking system. For the first 10 people who respond via email, you'll get a copy, a digital download of 10 Things a Millionaire Told Me. Let's go back to Albert Einstein for one moment as I close this video presentation. He said something that makes a lot of sense and must be understood. Great ideas will encounter violent opposition from mediocre minds. 95% of people are financially illiterate, and when it comes down to handling their money and understanding the rules of money, they are non-action figures. Let's face it, money is one of the most emotional subjects in the world, and that's why so little people have and hold on to it, because they have not learned how to invest in their education financially. And 95% of the population live paycheck to paycheck, and if you took away their job for 3 months, they would have to declare bankruptcy. So, you want to join the 5% today. That is the goal. Get into the 5% who are learning how money works and how financial literacy will allow you to accumulate wealth at any level. Let's take action now. Give us a call and we will help you put together a roadmap for your financial future. Remember, it is your money, and when it comes down to money, you do not get a do-over. So once again, give us a call or join us online. Please like and share this video, and I will look forward to talking to you on the next video. It's your money and it's your life.